What if I told you that hidden in the mountains of Korea lies a temple built to survive earthquakes, centuries before science understood them, where every stone, staircase, and pagoda was designed with secrets that still baffle engineers today? Builders risked their lives, disasters struck without warning, and yet this temple endured, holding stories of devotion. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of ancient engineering, hidden power, and civilizations that defied time. Built in 751 AD, during the unified Silla period in the southeast of the Korean peninsula, Bulguksa was a response to both spiritual aspiration and earthly reality. The temple rose in a landscape prone to seismic tremors, surrounded by mountains whose slopes demanded careful planning and stonework that could bend without breaking. The ruler behind this vision was King Gyeongdeok, whose ambition stretched beyond conquest or politics. He sought permanence, stability, and a monument that would declare Silla's mastery over both human skill and nature itself. The architects and engineers of Bulguksa were not anonymous craftsmen. Historical records name the master builders who oversaw the intricate stonework of the pagodas and the careful alignment of the halls. Kim Daeseong, who coordinated the layout of the complex, and master stonemasons whose knowledge of stress, balance, and seismic movement was unrivaled in the ancient world. These men studied mountains, measured stone, and anticipated earthquakes hundreds of years before science gave them names. Every aspect of Bulguksa's construction followed engineering logic. Foundations were dug deep into bedrock, terraces carved to channel water and reduce erosion. Stone columns and pagodas were not solid. They were articulated to absorb shock, allowing movement without collapse. Every interlocking block, every column, every joint was calculated to ensure that the weight above would distribute evenly during tremors. The layout of the temple itself, with courtyards, stairways, and bridges, was designed to channel human movement efficiently, guiding monks, pilgrims, and soldiers alike through a space that balanced ritual and discipline. Materials were sourced locally and shaped with tools honed over generations. Granite and basalt were quarried from nearby slopes. Sandstone was carried from riverbeds. Timber, bamboo, and lacquered wood were harvested from sacred groves. Stone was cut and polished with chisels, then interlocked using dry-fit, wooden clamps, and specially crafted joints. Lime mortar, mixed with plant resin, strengthened critical areas. Nothing was left to chance. Every block was a test of patience, skill, and vision. The labor force for Bulguksa was massive and highly organized. Corvée laborers from nearby villages worked in shifts, while monks and artisans contributed their skills for spiritual merit. Military units were assigned to guard construction sites, ensuring that no sabotage or theft interrupted the process. Overseers monitored output, enforced schedules, and administered punishment for mistakes. Entire families participated indirectly, supplying food, water, and firewood to sustain the workforce. This system was a mix of devotion, coercion, and social obligation, yet it produced results that remain miraculous even today. Although Bulguksa was primarily a religious structure, its construction served political and military logic as well. The temple's elevated position allowed Silla leaders to maintain visibility over the surrounding region. Roads connecting the temple to nearby fortresses and cities enabled rapid movement of troops and resources if needed. The very act of building a temple of such magnitude communicated power, control, and permanence. No enemy could approach the city or the sacred site without understanding the might that shaped both stone and society. Economically, the temple project was funded through a combination of state taxation, tribute from conquered regions, and donations from wealthy elites. Artisans and laborers were often compensated indirectly, with the promise of spiritual merit or future exemption from service. The temple itself became an economic hub, hosting festivals, markets, and pilgrimage routes that supported surrounding towns. The construction of Bulguksa was not just an act of faith. It was an investment in social order and territorial control. There was also a hidden, almost terrifying element to its survival. Builders placed stones in such a way that the collapse of one section would not bring down the rest of the structure. Foundations were layered like armor. Stairways were reinforced at every junction. Pagodas were constructed to bend, not break. Earthquakes were deadly, but Bulguksa was designed to survive them. Builders' knowledge was considered sacred, closely guarded. Some craftsmen were buried within walls and pagodas after death, both as ritual offering and to protect construction secrets from future generations. Construction took decades. Pilgrims arriving from distant regions would witness cranes, scaffolding, and hundreds of workers moving stones and timber. The air was filled with the rhythm of chisels, the shuffle of sandals on stone, and the smell of wet clay and fire from kilns. It was awe-inspiring and terrifying. Many laborers died of exhaustion, accidents, or illness, yet every stone placed reinforced a sense of permanence, devotion, and control. As the temple neared completion, its design revealed a mastery of both human psychology and structural engineering. Its construction was a system of control layered in faith, architecture, and labor. When King Gyeongdeok died,
Today, I proclaim new rules to guide our kingdom forward. Let these edicts ensure prosperity and
The temple
harmony for all.
continued to grow. Later rulers, including King Songdeok, expanded halls, pagodas, and bridges. Restoration projects in subsequent centuries ensured that the engineering secrets of the original builders were preserved. Even invasions, internal strife, and natural disasters could not fully undo the logic of the site. Bulguksa became not just a temple, but a legacy of human ingenuity, surviving the passage of time and the forces of nature. Life at Bulguksa Temple was never quiet. From the first light of dawn, the mountains echoed with the rhythm of labor, chanting, and ritual. Monks rose before sunrise, barefoot on cold stone floors, moving in synchronized steps to light incense and prepare prayer halls. The air carried the smell of burning sandalwood and the damp scent of granite and earth. Their lives were disciplined, measured by the rhythm of rituals, the toll of bells, and the tasks assigned by the abbots. Each prayer, each bow, each movement was precise, designed to honor the Buddha, reinforce devotion, and maintain order within the temple complex. Laborers arrived before dawn, carrying stones, timber, and tiles up steep paths. They carried massive granite blocks up mountain slopes, balancing them on shoulders and backs. Timber beams were lifted by hundreds of hands in unison, scaffolding groaning beneath their weight. Tools rang out, chisels striking stone, hammers pounding, axes shaping wood. Sweat and dust filled the air, and exhaustion was constant. Disasters were never far away. Earthquakes shook the mountains without warning, rattling scaffolds and causing partially built walls to collapse. Torrential rains turned mountain paths into mud, sweeping away temporary bridges and making stone hauling nearly impossible. During summer, heat blistered hands and backs. In winter, frost bit fingers and toes, slowing work and increasing the risk of injury. Some workers fell from scaffolds crushed by stones, or lost to sudden landslides. Death and injury were part of the cost of creation, yet the work continued relentlessly, guided by the belief that the temple must endure beyond any individual life. Disasters tested not only the structure, but the people. After earthquakes, monks and laborers would spend days reinforcing foundations and adjusting pagodas to compensate for shifts. Floods washed away temporary pathways, forcing teams to rebuild bridges and stairways from scratch. Fires from lightning or friction-ignited timber roofs requiring immediate repair. Each challenge became a lesson in endurance, problem-solving, and coordination. The temple was alive, demanding constant attention and adaptation. Through all of this, Bulguksa functioned as a system of human and natural engineering. Labor, ritual, and architecture combined into a single entity. Workers were disciplined by hierarchy and fear. Monks by devotion and study. The mountains themselves were controlled. Terraces prevented landslides, channels carried water safely, and stonework absorbed seismic shocks. Every part of the temple, from the smallest carved stone to the largest pagoda, was part of a network designed to survive centuries. The lives of monks and laborers were harsh yet meaningful. Monks believed their work preserved faith. Laborers understood that their effort created something eternal. Even in the face of death, disaster, and exhaustion, each person contributed to a structure that would outlast empires and generations. Their daily life was a mix of devotion, endurance, and engineering, a blend of fear, faith, and purpose that shaped every stone of Bulguksa. Rituals were woven into the labor itself. Monks chanted to calm spirits of the mountain and bless the work. Offerings of rice, wine, and incense were placed at foundation stones before they were set. Certain stones were carved with sacred symbols, believed to protect the temple from collapse or natural disasters. The builders themselves participated in these rituals, combining faith with skill. Every block of stone was both a physical and spiritual act, linking human effort to divine protection. Life within the temple complex was highly organized. Monks divided the day into prayer, meditation, teaching, and supervision of labor. By the 14th and 15th centuries, Bulguksa had become iconic. It influenced temple design across Korea. Engineers studied its pagodas. Architects copied its foundations. Military planners noted its defensive positioning. The temple's combination of beauty, durability, and control became a model of how a structure could serve multiple purposes. Walking through Bulguksa today, one can still sense the rhythm of its construction. Steps lead from one hall to another with careful pacing. Pagodas rise to catch sunlight at the perfect angles. It reminds visitors that this is a place built to endure, a place where fear, faith, and human ingenuity combined to create something immortal. Bulguksa is proof that ancient builders understood forces that modern engineers still study. It demonstrates that survival is as much about design as it is about materials, that a temple can shape society, economy, and behavior without a single written plan, that a ruler's vision, when executed with discipline, skill, and devotion, can outlast empires, disasters, and centuries.